Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is MRN's Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products, setting you up for the big race weekend. And we have got a dandy on the docket this weekend. Lots of good racing across the country, and we'll talk about some of those races here along the way. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Poston. Erin, this is kind of an interesting weekend. We're getting to that point of the year where the weekly racing has certainly slowed down. But we're at that point of the year where there's some big ones.
Yeah, big shows
and some
left.
really big shows left. North of the border, the Canadian Tire Sprint Car Nationals up at us weekend. Man, that's just one of those great places, great racetrack. Glenn Stiers does such a great job up there. That's a show place up there.
Yeah, I love that racetrack. I always have, and they get such a huge car count because they get ESS and NRA and SO, all those series up there. So it's a turned into a huge event.
It really is, and we're going to talk to Sam Hafertepe Jr. He's up there. He got a little head start on him.
I saw
he
that.
snuck up there early and ended up winning Friday night. So he did a little recon mission, and so we're going to talk to Sam Hafertepe Jr. about that along the way. The Outlaws are out west, Calistoga Speedway, the Wine Country Classic. I had originally planned on being out there. I'm kind of glad now with the hurricane rolling into here that I didn't make the trip because I probably would have canceled it along the way. But, man, Calistoga Historic Racetrack, we'll see what the Outlaws have against the California boys.
It's a great facility, and it's beautiful now. The Abreu family put a ton of money into it, and wine and sprint cars, I mean, to me,
that's just like that's
the
only thing.
Right there.
Well, exactly. All you need is dirt vision, but there you wouldn't need your dirt vision.
Exactly.
So,
I would much rather be there than in front of the monitor.
There you go. Exactly. At Fremont, man, I'll tell you what, the Jim Ford Classic, they always end the year with that big one, $10,000 to win for the 410s, the Fast Series. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So a lot still going on in the sprint car world. So make sure this weekend you get out and support your local sprint car track as we continue on here in the 2018 season. We need to step away. When we come back, Sam Hafertepe Jr., he joins us.
No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Built in the USA, HRP is the manufacturer of the original recessed rivet wing, including their premier Shark Wing series, as well as the new Racer Series Sprint Car Wing. Hefner Racing Products wings are available for sprint cars, mini and micro sprints, winged outlaw karts, and junior sprints. HRP is the leader in mule conversions, manufactures and sells a full line of sprint car components, including Nerf bars and bumpers, front axles, precision laser cut chassis building tabs, brackets, tubes, and spuds. HRP has the absolute largest selection of trailer and shop accessories available to sprint car racers. When it comes to setting up your trailer or shop, HRP is the choice for the best in trailer and shop storage and organization accessories. Hefner Racing Products. Visit them and shop online at hrpracing.com. Now back to the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, presented by Hefner Racing Products.
We are glad you joined us. Of course, our friends at Hefner Racing Products, www.hrpracing.com. That's hrpracing.com. And we talked about this at the top, the 14th Annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, Oshweekend Speedway. And joining us on the hotline right now is the 2011 winner of the race. Sam Hafertepe Jr. is on the line. Hello, Sam. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Yeah, it's good to be back on. Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, we'll talk a little bit about the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, which is coming up this weekend, but you got a little head start on everybody. Got in there Friday night. Tell us about the run on Friday night and why it was important for you to get a little head start and get up there and see what you had for this weekend.
We just got another new car with special paint scheme and things like that for the Canadian Nationals because, this is a big race for our car owners, so we just wanted to shake it down and kind of see what we were going to have and going into this weekend.
Sam, you've run this race a number of times, obviously previous winner. Talk about how much this race has grown. I know I went to the first year, and now it's blown out. There's a huge car count, great event.
Oh, it's awesome. just the format, everything about it's pretty neat. And what's the coolest thing for me is that you're racing against a bunch of guys that you don't normally race against. So, and these guys up in this area are, they're pretty respectable. The slick track that they have up in this area here in New York, you get a lot of guys that are really good on those kind of surfaces, and, that's the kind of guys you're racing against. So it's really cool to compete with different guys that you don't normally get to race against.
Let's talk a little bit about that, Sam, because you're right. It's a very good point, and you're used to racing out there with Johnny and Wayne and Blake and Seth and guys like that you race with all the time. What is the challenge? How do you? Is it different racing against a bunch of guys where you don't know their tendencies?
Well, that too, and these guys out here tend to be really good on these type of racetracks where they get the different type of slick than what we're used to. So these guys are really tough on those kind of surfaces, and we've been good enough in the past to to get the better of them, but they're definitely really tough competitors, and they definitely get their cars really nice.
Sam, you hit on it before that this race is really important to your team owner. The Hill Racing family is based right around there, I believe. Talk about what it would mean to them to win the race.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we're bringing a special paint scheme out. They bring a couple other drivers up every once in a while as well. So, it really means a lot for them to win at this place. And, hopefully, I'm the guy that's able to do it for them.
Boy, that would be sweet. That really would. And there's $10,000 on the line as well. That never hurts either. Sam, when we look at your season, of course, you're a full-time campaigner with Emma Hahn's Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, leading the point standings. First you're getting this Hill Racing car going and rolling along. How would you assess your season? You content? You didn't win every race, so I know you're not ecstatic with it. But are you content with where you're at, or what types of things have you gone through?
I'm content with the speed of our race car. Really content with that. Just not, we just had a lot of, like we're in the years past where it seemed like a lot of things went our way. They haven't went our way this year, and it's just part of racing. Sometimes it's like that, and we just had a little bad luck here and there. Maybe some errors by us on the car a few nights and not finishing races where we should be, and things like that, and it all adds up. And we look at the season and we don't view it as a successful one, but we still got 7-point races left, and we've got a lot of speed. So my confidence isn't down at all. We still got the tools, and we still got the time to wrap this deal up, and hopefully we can run these last 7 points races and make it happen for the third year in a row.
For sure. Sam, how difficult is it to run the ASCS National Tour based out of Canada? Maybe you have a satellite shop somewhere in the U.S., but how difficult logistically is it for you?
I guess the hardest part, for the team is, getting parts to Canada. I guess that would be the hardest part. That's the troubles that we deal with. It's really tough to get the parts over the border and, pay the tax to get across the border and stuff like that. So, that makes it a little more difficult. But while we're in the States, we can normally manage things pretty well. So it's not too difficult when we're in the States. But there's definitely a lot more things to deal with than what people realize. Yeah,
I'm thinking about it. We look at the news headlines and tariffs and trades and everything else and countries and stuff. I'm sure there is lots of challenges along the way. Well, Sam, we appreciate the time joining us here today, and we wish you the best as you go for your second one. Put that Hill family on the podium up there in Victory Lane on Saturday night with the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Thanks again for the time, and best of fortune this weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you.
There we go. That is Sam Hafertepe Jr. He's going to be tough up there. He really is.
Yeah.
But I think he hits on something, and I want to talk about this race a little bit. It is the 14th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, okay? And I think to Sam's point, what makes this to me so interesting and good is not the right word, great or awesome is the right word, is the cooperation of all of the tours.
Yeah.
And I've said this all along. We talk about there's a hotbed of racing here and a hotbed of racing there, okay? You can't do this, obviously, but if you took Lake Ontario out, okay, if you removed Lake Ontario, I am telling you, you have a 360 hotbed up there.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
That would rival anywhere in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got the Patriots, you got ESS, you've got the SOS, the Southern Ontario Sprints. Now you've got this big stinking Great Lake in the middle of it that they have to drive around all the time.
You got NRA, you got URC. There's
exactly. So it's great. Yes.
Also think that Sam mentioned a great point that a lot of those tracks they race on are dry slick. He races all over the country with the ASCS Tour that they see a variety of different racetracks.
Yeah.
But if you look at the previous winners, there's a lot of local, guys in that area. Obviously, Shane came in a few years and won. Parker Price Miller, Carson Macedo, but the majority of the winners are actually more local guys.
Yeah, exactly. And when we look at this, Brian Howland has picked up a win. Yep. Jessica Zemkin has won. Steve Poirier has won it. He's won it 3 times along the way. Back in 2008, Wayne Johnson. The inaugural winner was Kenny Jacobs.
Yeah,
picking up
in
the
my
win.
old car. That was a Mike Woodring car.
Mike Woodring car. So, but I think the thing that I just love about it is the cooperation. You have 5 tours. Okay, and they actually all have contingency awards.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Isn't that cool? Empire Super Sprints, Great Lakes Super Sprints, National Racing Alliance, that's the NRA, the Patriot Sprint Tour, the Southern Ontario Sprint. So there's 5 series and the regular Osh Weekend Cool Kids Core Pack 360s. So there's 6 groups that somehow manage to work together
look at
for
that.
this race. And it yields 60, 70, 80 cars, depending on the year. And it yields just great racing.
Yeah,
so,
and you often get guys that come from the national tour that sneak over in other places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Last year's winner, Carson Macedo. The year before that, Parker Price Miller. As we mentioned, Shane Stewart is a 3-time winner of the race, back when he was running more of the 360 stuff. But he would take time. The ASCS Tour, for whatever reason, seems to always be off this weekend, and that's where Shane came up there and dusted him off a few times. Great stuff. Great event. Now, it starts on Friday, okay, with the Burger Barn night before the Nationals. They run twin 15s. Now, have you ever been to Burger Barn?
I have been to the Burger Barn.
I have been to the Burger Barn, too. You know what I had to eat there?
What did you have to eat?
A burger. It's a Burger Barn.
Cheese?
Yes, cheeseburger. Yes, exactly. The Burger Barn's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great spot.
Everything that Glenn does, he does it right.
Yes.
I mean, the whole facility.
Right, absolutely. So the Burger Barn night before the Nationals, twin 15s for the 360s. That is, ladies and gentlemen, get those elbows in the air, because you only got 15 laps to do it in, okay? And on Saturday night, the Aero Express Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, $10,000 to win. This is U.S. dollars, $1,000 to start.
That's a lot to start for a 360 race. Yeah, that's
so great job up at Oswegan Speedway, and we certainly wish everyone the best. I know I say it all along. If it's a bucket list race, I don't even know. The problem of it is that my bucket is just. I mean, I don't
overflowing with
yes.
races.
It's just like I could take a year and try to check off 300 bucket list items, and I'd have 600 left. I mean, it's just crazy. So it's one of those I'd love to catch sometime, but we certainly wish everyone the best. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Ohio. Okay, the 11th annual Jim Ford Classic presented by JHL General Contracting at Fremont Speedway. Friday night, $3,000 to win. Saturday, $10,000 to win. It was announced last week that Rich Farmer, this is going to be his last race at promoter. Rich is just a local businessman that's done well. And just kind of, I think, reading between the lines, kind of got to here with it. Enough on the plate, and I know even in one, we had wished him the best, and some fan chirped off and said something, and Rich said, "Yes, part of the reason why I'm stepping away is fans being just rude. Just there are some people on social media that are just plain rude. Okay, sprint car fans, NASCAR fans." Political fans, whatever it is, some of y'all are just rude out there. Nobody watching this show, of course, but some of your friends are rude, okay? But Rich Farmer came into Fremont, and I think he's done a lot of really good stuff there. The criticism on Rich is he marches to his own drummer. That's a criticism, and that's a strength.
Yep.
And I think that's great. Yeah, he had a dust up with Tony Stewart, and the All-Stars don't race there. I know everyone wants the All-Stars back at Fremont. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But I am telling you, I've chatted with Rich on this show, and I've chatted with him in person a couple of times, and there is nobody that has as much passion as Rich Farmer has. And so everyone get out there to Fremont this weekend. Send the drivers, send everyone off in great fashion. It's the Jim Ford Classic. And stay tuned. Rich might have some other things that he's working on along the way. But we wish him the best. One of those guys that just has done things his way. And there's some of the things that he's done his way that have been really, really good and great for the racing at Fremont. And I know I've got a lot of friends that race up there, and there's always those that can't wait for the promoter to go. And there's a lot of people up there at Fremont that sit around and say, man, that guy did a really good job. Yeah. And ultimately at the end of the day. So we tip the cap to Rich, and we hope that everyone has a great race up there. The 11th Annual Jim Ford Classic presented by JHL Contracting for the Fast Series. We talked a little bit earlier this week with Rico, the Wine Country Outlaw Showdown at Calistoga Speedway for the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Cars. Last late night Dirt Vision. Then they move east, thank God. We love you, California folks, but you keep us up way too late. Calistoga, now this gets interesting. We talked on Tuesday about the California racers and the little bull rings. Well, this is not one of those little bull rings. So we'll see what happens. But I know the California racers are always ready for it. And so going to be a fun weekend for the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprints. The Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions, Friday night, they're at Outlaw Speedway. Speaking of dry, slick Northeastern Racetrack in Dundee, New York. And on Saturday, Selinsgrove, another one of the big ones, the Jim Nace Memorial, $10,000 to win up there. Last year's winner was Brian Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brownie's sticking around in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So
selling T-shirts.
Yeah, selling T-shirts and winning races, taking trophies away from the posse. So Saturday night, Selinsgrove, that's going to be a great one. I love Selinsgrove. Love what the Arctic Cat All-Star Circuit of Champions are doing. Another one of those, let's get together and put on a big one. It's going to be a throwdown, and we'll see who does what up there at Selinsgrove. IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints, Friday night, Clay County Fair Speedway in Spencer, Iowa, and Saturday, Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota. Other 410 racing, Friday night, Jacksonville, Illinois, the MOA Series will be racing. The NOSA Sprints are back at River City Speedway. We'll see how bad they boo Dobmeyer again. Our buddy Dynamite. Some of y'all up there don't like him. Can't imagine that. We love Dynamite Dobmeyer.
Yeah, but when you start dominating,
well, there was a little dust up along the way to that $8,200 big check on last Friday night. So that's on Friday night, River City Speedway. Friday night also Williams Grove has a complete program. Saturday night, Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe, Ohio. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway in Imperial, Pennsylvania, and St. Francis County Raceway in Farmington, Missouri. Some great racing action in the 410 world. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour is off this weekend. Next weekend, the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial at Lucas Oil Speedway. Wayne Johnson is on this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit with Jesse and Daniel. He's on our MAV TV show. We'll talk about that a little bit. So the ASCS National Tour is off this weekend. Regional racing action Saturday night. Arizona Speedway. It's the Southwest region in Queen Creek, Arizona. Saturday night also Golden Triangle Raceway Park in Beaumont, Texas. Gulf South region and Red River region and Mid-South region, they team up at I-30 Little Rock. A lot of drivers going in there getting ready for some short track nationals.
Yep.
So I think that Saturday night race at I-30 is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be stout. I really do. So we wish all of our ASCS regional tours good luck and good fortune and sunny skies, blue skies, and sunny weather along the way. You can catch, of course, one of the places you can go to if you're not where a race is. You can go to wingnation.com and look at our broadcast calendar, and we have all of the pay-per-view and listen-only and audio versions. We have all of that available as well. I want to also give a shout-out before we get out of here to our friends at Hefner Racing Products. I haven't caught up with my buddy Jeff to see what he's racing along the way. I know he's running Legends cars and a mini sprint along the way. I'm not sure what they're doing up there in the Beaver Dam area. So, but you can find out, and you can certainly order some stuff up at www.hrpracing.com. That's hrpracing.com. We talked about this just a bit ago, but coming up is the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial, and one of the drivers we talked about, we talked to about that is Wayne Johnson. He's a former winner, and Wayne is going to join Ashley Stremme and myself on Saturday morning It's MRN's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, 8:30 and 11:30 Eastern Time. And you can catch up with Wayne, see what's going on in Wayne's world. Hey, thanks for joining us here today.
This has been the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, brought to you by Hefner Racing Products. The Wing Nation Weekend Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.